There is a honey that never crystallizes. It stays liquid for years, sometimes decades, perfectly clear like bottled light. Chefs in Paris call it the finest sweetener in the world. A jar costs more than a bottle of wine, and it comes from a tree that the European Union tried to make illegal. Not a rare tropical orchid, not an exotic protected species, a tree that grows as a weed along every highway in Europe. A tree you have probably walked past 100 times without knowing its name. This is the story of Black Locust, the tree that fed empires, saved beekeepers, and was nearly erased by a single vote in Brussels. Welcome to Forgotten Plant Remedies. If forgotten knowledge matters to you, subscribe and hit the bell. Every video we make together is a piece of history they hoped you would never find. The archive opens in 2013. The European Commission releases a proposal. They want to create a list of invasive alien species, plants and animals that threaten native ecosystems. Scientists have been raising alarms for years. Something is spreading across the continent, colonizing grasslands, crowding out native trees, changing the chemistry of soil. They want it banned. Banned from import, from sale, from planting. Eradication programs. The species? Black Locust. Robinia pseudoacacia. The same tree that has fed European bees for 3 centuries. One country refuses to accept it. Hungary. The Hungarian government does something extraordinary. They declare Black Locust a Hungaricum, a protected element of national cultural heritage. The same legal status as Hungarian paprika, as Tokaj wine, as the Rubik's Cube. A tree classified as an invasive weed by scientists becomes, by government decree, a national treasure. Why? Because Black Locust covers more than 20% of all forests in Hungary. And because Hungarian beekeepers know something that Brussels bureaucrats do not. Black Locust produces the rarest honey on earth. The flowers bloom for 10 days, sometimes 2 weeks if the spring is warm. A narrow window in May or June, when the trees explode in white cascading blossoms that smell like wisteria mixed with something you cannot name. Bees sense the bloom from miles away. Hungarian beekeepers have developed an entire culture around this window, moving hives across the country, tracking temperature and rainfall, chasing the bloom from south to north as it moves with the season. A beekeeper who times it perfectly fills his hives in days. A beekeeper who misses it waits another year. These are not industrial operations. They are family traditions stretching back 4 and 5 generations. Grandfathers who memorized which valleys warm first in April. Fathers who taught their sons to read the weather 2 weeks out. Entire villages in the Great Hungarian Plain, the Alfold, where the acacia harvest is the economic event of the year. Where conversations in May are about nothing else. Where a late frost that delays the bloom by a week is felt in every household. This is not agriculture. It is a living calendar built around a single tree. The honey that results is unlike any other, nearly transparent, pale as winter light, with notes of vanilla and fresh flowers. It does not crystallize, not in months, not in years. Scientists attribute this to its exceptional fructose to glucose ratio, 38% glucose, 44% fructose, higher than almost any other monofloral honey in the world. Its antibacterial activity measures 3 to 4 times stronger than standard floral honey in laboratory tests. It contains flavonoids and antioxidants that degrade in most honeys within months. In acacia honey, they remain stable for years. A jar of pure Hungarian acacia honey sells for €40 at specialty stores in London and Paris. It wins international competitions year after year. It is exported to 40 countries, and it comes entirely from a tree that the EU classified as a threat to European biodiversity. Here is the paradox that Brussels never resolved. Black Locust fixes 75 to 150 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare per year, pulling it directly from the air through bacteria living on its roots and converting it into soil fertility without synthetic inputs. It stabilizes erosion on sandy plains where nothing else survives. It provides nectar early in spring when bee colonies are rebuilding after winter and other sources are scarce. Remove it, and Hungarian beekeeping collapses. Remove it, and tens of thousands of hectares of marginal land lose the only tree holding the soil together. the European Commission backed down. Black Locust was excluded from the union-wide banned list, largely because of pressure from Hungary, Romania and Bulgaria, countries where the tree had been woven into agriculture and food culture for centuries. But the debate did not end. Individual EU member states retain the right to classify it as invasive on their national lists. Germany has restricted it in some regions. The Netherlands manages it carefully. Across the continent, land managers are told to control it, remove it, prevent its spread. Meanwhile, the knowledge of what this tree offers quietly passes from hand to hand outside official channels. Foragers who know when to look, beekeepers who never stopped, home cooks who learned from their grandmothers. You have the right to forage black locust flowers. They are edible, sweet, mildly fragrant, safe eaten raw from the branch during the 10-day bloom. The flowers taste like a cleaner, fresher version of the honey they produce, floral, lightly sweet, with none of the heaviness of other edible blossoms. In Hungary and Romania, families fry the flower clusters in a light batter until golden, a spring delicacy that exists for 10 days and then disappears for another year. The flowers make fritters, jellies, syrups, teas, cordials. A tree that grows for free on roadsides, railway embankments, and abandoned fields produces one of the most refined ingredients in European cuisine, if you know when to look. Climate change is making this more urgent, not less. Droughts are lengthening, topsoil is disappearing, bee populations are collapsing across Europe. Black locust was born for exactly these conditions. It grows in soil too poor for wheat. It survives heat that kills other trees. It flowers when bees need it most. It rebuilds land that industrial agriculture has destroyed. The tree that Brussels tried to erase may be one of the few things standing between European beekeeping and complete collapse. The bureaucrats who wanted it banned were solving yesterday's problem. The farmers and beekeepers who protected it were solving tomorrow's. Hungary knew this. They put it in law. The bloom lasts 10 days. It comes once a year. You do not need a permit to stand beneath a black locust in May and breathe air that smells like the finest honey on earth. You do not need permission to notice what grows along the road you drive every day. The knowledge was never lost. It was growing in plain sight, waiting to be recognized. If this mattered to you, subscribe to Forgotten Plant Remedies and hit the bell. Share this with someone who deserves to remember. The next vault opens soon.